Welcome in to the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. Mm-hmm. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to. He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show.
Welcome in.
Welcome in.
I missed it. Can we read
Tuesday.
Do it again.
Well,
3, 2, 1.
welcome
in.
in.
There you go. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, Lord.
June 28th. It's right there in the corner, top left of your screen.
There you go.
No Jordy this morning. We had some errands, some stuff we had to get done. So it's just the B team
B team.
Aw, I forgot
Assemble.
about that.
trying to hold it down. We will have Jacques in studio at 8 a.m. And then
Brent Pitaro with the Athletic Collection. He's got some championship gear for us, and he's coming in, and we'll have his QR code back up there too. Y'all can shop our LSU and Saints store, but he'll be in to talk a little bit about that at 8:30.
beautiful. Yeah. And so,
Does he has the new championship collection, like the posters?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because
He
I
didn't
saw
say.
one. I saw one on Twitter that's fire.
That he
the
put
Dylan
out?
Cruz. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's what he's bringing us in. Yeah.
there's been a couple of those posters that he does like periodically, like when like a moment will happen. Like Ty Floyd has a good game, so we'll put a Ty Floyd
Yeah.
poster back up, and they look.
And the
outstanding.
cool thing, those are the ones that you can scan the poster and you see like a play that
Yeah.
like plays on your phone. They're so amazing.
It's like real life Hogwarts.
I know it is.
Wait, what?
You know, the
love
Hogwarts, like in the
that.
newspaper or whatever, they have like the
like
pictures
the
move.
live pictures.
Yeah, you get a live reaction from your photo. So it's like, or I guess to bring it like in the real world, like whenever you take a picture with your iPhone, if you hold it down,
live
you get the moment. Yeah.
Live
So it's like that, but cooler.
I think we need some mic volume. People are saying on everybody's mics. soul, Stewie.
Sorry, folks.
That'll be all good.
Put that thing a fistful away.
So LSU baseball tonight is going to have their national championship celebration at 7:30. Are y'all going to go?
Yes, I'm going because I think the whole mic'd up crew wants to go.
Yeah,
so we're
good.
going to either do a truncated show or change the time. We have not decided yet, but we will be at the parade. Come say hello. Come see Mikey and Jay Mitch if you missed them in Omaha the first go-around. They were not there the second go-around, but a lot of fans out there for those two. They'll be there to the last team to win a national championship in 2009. So they'll be there to pass the torch, in a sense, to the 2023 LSU baseball team, who are your national champions. Parade starts at 7:30?
7:30, gates open at 6:30, and admission is free. But they will have food and drinks for purchase. You going to be purchasing a lot of food and drinks?
Parade.
I mean, liquor?
We talking about like like they're having a parade and it's just gonna go like by the baseball stadium. Like,
I don't. It just says a celebration. It doesn't say an actual parade.
Okay,
so I'm assuming it's just like a
go in the
thing
stadium,
on the field.
hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
I guess
kinda
they
cool.
could parade around inside
Yeah,
the field.
I mean,
They
they might do like a little lap,
They might.
round high five,
Like a high school
everybody.
homecoming parade and
Right.
sit on the back of convertibles.
Oh goodness.
It'd be the little toy car, like the what is it, the bullpen cart?
Yeah.
And ride around in those.
That would be
Or
awesome.
the guys with the little hats. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that used to ride in parades. They're some sort of
yeah.
club.
Yeah, they are. I have the name on the tip of my tongue. And
With
I
the
can't
weird
say it.
hats. Is it like
Yeah.
red?
With the little
Yeah, the little
tassels
and the
on
little
the top.
tassel on it.
You know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I do,
The
but
little
I have
hat.
no idea.
Knights of Columbus? Is it
It's
that?
something like
it's
that.
something like that. Anyway, but I would
Somebody's
imagine.
gonna know in the chat.
Yeah, I would imagine that the parade, quote unquote, is going to be probably inside Alex box. They'll have a microphone. They'll probably speak about the season. Jay
Yeah.
will talk. Kate will talk. Dylan will talk. They'll probably be that schemes. All the cast and crew will probably have a moment. They'll probably make like a lap around the field, show some highlights on the screen, yada yada yada. But it should be fun.
Everybody's gonna be excited.
Oh
They
yeah.
start showing those highlights on the
Oh, my
screen and
gosh.
Alex Vox.
I mean,
And the place is going to be packed.
Yeah.
What's
Like-
the weather?
I think the weather's
Hot.
good today. I think it's hot. I
It's
think
7:30 tonight, so
There's
that's
a
not.
heat warning until 8 p.m. I did see that this morning.
so
Y'all,
hot.
it's like it's difficult to breathe.
Yeah,
Get
it's
outside.
serious hot. Like it's
I
serious
mean,
heat.
It's not even funny.
No.
Oh no, dude, whenever I got back from Omaha and I was like walking and unpacking, like walking into my car. It was like walking from my car back up to my room or whatever. Like the air, I could feel like I was eating it.
Yeah.
Like it was like palpably in my mouth. I was like, this is terrible because
It's bad.
Omaha is a little dry heat. And I was like, I am back in Louisiana. I feel like I was fighting the air. It's like
No.
anti-gravity. It was terrible.
When you land here, it's like
And it just swarms you up, dude.
ugh.
So, get ready for that. Stay inside unless you're
Jeez.
Hold the Mayo. Did you see him? Just fighting for his life to eat outside, and he
I mean,
was
he was soaking.
he was
wet,
soaking wet.
but
and
didn't care.
Didn't care.
Kept going
Anything
with
for
it.
content.
His Monday content, like I cannot wait
It's
to watch
10 out
his
of 10.
Monday
Same
videos.
thing.
Like, I
RBNR day,
laugh.
baby.
It is amazing, and when he travels places and just
Yeah.
like his comments, I mean,
Look at this
he's-
motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
He's so unbelievable. I'm loving
Like
his
his
Monday
first
stuff.
bites are always the best because he's
I
always
know.
like, "Oh, that's good."
Yeah,
That's
they're
good.
just the pop of the plate. But
I don't love red beans and rice, but like
do.
the places
He
he
goes, they look
like,
fire.
Yeah,
You just haven't had them right yet, Katie.
I guess not.
before we go, do you have anybody more thoughts on red beans and rice? We good? Get them all
That's
out
I
there.
needed to say about it.
Love red
Because
beans and rice.
if you do have thoughts on red beans and rice, 7:30 a.m. We're gonna take some calls, I believe. Get your phone calls in, get your text in, get your voicemails. I know we haven't done it in a while, but I think what we should do is get your opinions on the LSU baseball team of the 2023 run. Air your grievances, what you thought about Justin Thompson, any of those things.
Jordan Thompson.
Thompson, I'll put him and Jason Taylor, and then the golfer in there too.
They started calling him Justin Thompson on the broadcast.
Oh yeah, so
and-
Jordan Thompson. My bad,
And,
JT.
like they had to correct. I don't even know which one of them said.
Kyle
it.
Peterson?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was Kyle. It was the other guy.
It wasn't Katie's favorite, was it?
Who?
Eduardo Perez.
No, Eduardo
No,
Perez.
Eduardo's
They
not
like
there.
took him off the games.
Yeah, he hadn't
thank
done that
God.
in a while.
Like, he did like the first game.
But
like
without
clear
Eduardo,
your throat.
without Eduardo Perez, we don't get the Ronnie Rance moment. He was the one that, obviously, that whole thing came full circle, and it came and ended up on this show, which was great. So free content, thank you, Eduardo. So can't hate him too much, but he does have a little bit of a frog in his throat.
He
Blake
does.
Abear's in our chat. He is our Abear's landscaping person who does the landscaping for our office. He's saying this is the worst heat I've ever
Cool.
experienced, and I've been doing landscaping and lawns for 20 plus years. Blake also does some work for me around my house, and
Do you
he's
offer?
excellent.
Do you
so-
offer him water?
You know, I don't. I have not ever offered them
Katie.
water.
Katie.
He's come to replace a lot of plants in my yard. But, I mean, they have, they have this huge truck and their crew and their coolers and stuff. So I figure
You
they're
can tell you're
fine.
not from Louisiana.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Because,
everybody,
like,
yeah.
Louisiana people are like very endearing.
Well, I would
like,
if I saw them out there like dying, but usually they bring their own stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
fine. You know
I
how many
don't
people
believe
are
it's
like
common
at my
courtesy.
house working every day? I don't even
Yeah,
know who's who.
You
If
really-
I offered everybody water,
I was
I
just about
mean,
to
Are you
say.
the lawn care service or are you a part of the construction?
I mean
crew?
seriously.
Are you working inside or outside?
The construction crew, they brings their little microwave and like plugs it in on the front porch, makes their lunch.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen them.
sleeps.
I've seen them put in some work up there on lunchtime, chilling under the trees.
just
Oh,
chill,
man.
takes a little
Sandwiches.
nap out in the yard. They know how to do it. I mean, they do it right.
Oh, construction crews, they'll bring like you said, like a oven.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're eating a real lunch.
Yes.
And then
Like, I'm about to cook for
lunch
the
is for
boys.
real. Yeah. This is it. I'm taking my hour.
Yeah.
And
their nap.
And they're exactly. It's a perfect life. You get to eat under the tree, take a nap, and get working whenever you want to get back to work. I don't care. Enjoy yourself.
This thing will take forever, but hey.
Yeah.
People are mad
I ain't
at
getting
me
done
because
today.
I didn't give water. Y'all, I would give water if I thought they needed it, but they
See?
always have their own
See,
stuff.
Katie, it's
Uh-huh.
it's
That's
the
just-
Louisiana thing.
You go out there with a tray of lemonade and you offer like, anybody want any
But it's
lemonade?
just like
Like a movie.
1950.
Yeah. My stars, it's hot.
Selling lemonade
You
for a
boys
quarter.
look like you're working up quite a sweat.
Sweat. Please do that.
I feel like I
don't.
need to put like a water jug out there now for people to just come take at will.
Yeah, the thing with it's the old adage that like a teacher says is like if I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
It kind of is the situation you're in because if you give it to your like
Construction
the lawn maintenance and the construction, like
Yeah.
where's my water? And they form a union,
Yeah.
and now you got a lawsuit on your hands.
Or now they go on strike.
I do it at Christmas time. That would not be good. I do it at Christmas time. I put snacks and drinks on the porch for all the delivery people. And then
Yeah.
I put a styrofoam cooler at the street with Cokes for the trash pickup people.
See, you're almost there. So all these
almost
people
there.
that you actually see, you don't offer
I feel like I
anything.
need to start putting a cooler
So-
out.
so now
Stock
you're a
cooler
bad
out
person
now. Y'all are
because
making
you
me
don't-
feel weird.
You don't
Yeah.
appreciate the people that are actually like seeing you every day.
Yeah.
I do
I don't know,
appreciate
Katie.
them.
Yeah,
They,
You would
they
think-
might not
I
feel
tell them to come
appreciated.
inside instead of go in the portalet if I see them out there and I think it's weird. I'm
See?
like, y'all can use
Well,
the
when they go
bathroom
on
in here."
strike,
Yeah, they're gonna be in the bathroom. They may get half your house. Whatever we built, we get to keep.
signs outside, no water, no work.
That's amazing. There's gonna be like a mutiny at my house.
Especially if you only give it to the maintenance crew the outside. They're
I
like,
know.
oh, they're getting water from Katie. Like, I'm changing teams,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm
I'm
putting-
going outside.
I'm gonna go and start like baking and stuff now.
Made y'all lunch.
The plumber's like trying to fix the bathroom. He's like, oh, the guy outside getting water. Like, it's hot in here right now. I want water too.
Take a shower.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thank you everyone.
But I couldn't
change.
imagine working outside in this heat.
I
So
can't
God
either.
bless you, Blake. Especially
Yeah.
not getting water. It's tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Blake.
Like
I'll
a-
start
yeah.
providing
we tried
water.
to watch the game outside Monday night, and we lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah.
we were inside watching the game.
It's such a great idea too.
is.
Like a great theory. Like, oh, we'll all sit outside, maybe grill a little bit,
Yeah.
get that real ballpark
That's
feel.
exactly what happened. and then 5 minutes into the game, it was just
I
like,
mean, you stand in front of a grill for 5 minutes
right.
Oh.
in this heat. You
Yeah.
might as well just get in it.
Yeah, but that's a dad. Yeah, that's a dad move. That's what get at it. But that's such a dad move. Like, oh no, I don't mind. Fires up the grill and he's just sweating his ass off. He's like, worth it. We have to do it.
Yep.
That's
Did he grill anyway?
mydad.com.
Huh?
Did he grill?
Yeah, he grilled anyways, but the game, it all got moved inside.
So he was alone out there.
Like, sorry. Look,
I was
it's
gonna have a
hot.
little family time. Everybody's home. No, they're all inside. I'm
Yeah.
stuck grilling. But God bless you, Blake, for working outside. Anyway, what's the phone number? 225-7741.
229-7741.
We'll put it on the screen. But call in at 7:30. Give your thoughts on LSU baseball team. Anything else you want to talk about, whether it be what we just kind of talked
Red
about.
beans and
Anything
rice,
is on the
water.
table. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
We're just trying.
We'll be your therapist today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just
Let us.
trying to kill time until we get to Jacques at 8 a.m. and then hit me again with 8:30.
Brent Pitaro.
Brent
The
Pitaro.
Athletic
of
Collection.
the Athletic Collection to get your posters. Like I said, I saw one on Twitter that was pretty fire. So if you bring some in, you'll probably get to see them firsthand, or we'll drop a link in the QR code and go visit there. Anywho, as we get to LSU, when you talk about the parade, they've already made some updates to the stadium. So I'd imagine they're going
Right.
to inside Alex Box,
What'd
the
they do?
Intimidator.
Oh, that
So
thing is already getting touched up.
Yeah, the thing in right field that has like all the years of the national
championships,
championships.
Oh, okay, they've
Like,
already done that.
They already
Good.
had 2023 in the baseball trophy room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Hey.
But I think that's also going to be part of the parade. They'll probably have it covered
unveil
up and then
Yeah.
unveil it. Yeah, so that'll be exciting too because people have waited a long time to add a number to that thing since
Long
2009, like I said. So usually LSU doesn't go that much of a stretch without winning a national championship. So these people are thirsty.
That's true.
And that's when you will see, and that's why I think you see people turn out in droves tonight because it's going to be a lot of the, like
Been
I
a long
said,
time coming.
yeah, you saw a lot of the 2017 team in Omaha because they felt
Right.
personally attached to this game because they were the last ones to be in the finals of a College World Series,
And
they
play Florida.
played against Florida. And so I don't know if they'll. I mean, a lot of them probably still live in Baton Rouge, so they'll probably be out in droves. Also, you'll see a lot of former players there, I'd imagine. It should be a good time by
Did you
everybody.
see Brady Singer there too?
Yeah,
From
they
Florida,
had- they had
Jackson
the
Coward and
pitcher
Brady
from
Singer.
Florida. That
Oh, he was at the.
Yeah, they
He
were
might
at
have been the only Florida fan there. My goodness.
Wait,
That-
he was where?
He was at
He was in
the
Omaha
championship
watching,
game.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was the one who shoved against LSU
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yep.
championship.
But this is an elite picture.
Yeah, this is elite. I heard Kate Beloso mention like how he was a big fan of Ryan Shimp, Mikey Montuk, and
Jay
Jared Mitchell.
Mitch.
And like I didn't realize like he was
So, yeah,
in Omaha in 09.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, do you know that story?
No, I do
About
not.
that's the last time I think he went to Omaha was 2009, and they tried. I think they were going to go again another time, and something got delayed or something, whatever. And he looked at his dad. He said, "I don't even want to go. It's no big deal. The next time we go, I'll be playing for LSU."
No, he
and that,
didn't.
yeah. And so he was like, "All right, I'll never take you until you get there."
That's amazing.
So-
He did it?
Oh my
That is awesome.
gosh.
Spoke
how
his
cool
truth
is
into
that?
existence.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I put that tweet out. Like, it really is hard to be happier for anybody more than you are for Cade Beloso. Mm-hmm. Just the story of him growing up wanting this, and then to almost retire last year, come back and then be able to not only be a part of the team, but be an influential piece and a reason why they won.
Yeah,
It's-
a big reason.
Oh, especially whenever you like you said, you look at he gets hurt in the pregame huddle,
Right.
and it's just that LSU brings in this influx of talent. He has a serious injury he's trying to rehab, and they were before that injury. Jay had been saying about Cade like how much progress he had made. They had changed his swing, and he was going to be a major factor on like that 2022 team. And you saw where they needed him throughout the year, and he
Right.
tried to play through it. And they're like, "Shut this thing down, dude! What are you doing? You can't even run." And so if he got a hit, he was going to have to get pinch run for every time.
Yeah.
So he'd only be able to get essentially one plate appearance. And so they shut that thing down. He rehabbed it the right way. And when you look at the start of this year, I think Jay said, they had to talk about whether he should come back or not. And Jay was like, "No, you're coming back. There's no ifs about it. You're not going anywhere. I have a spot for you on this team." He said, "At least once a game, you'll get an at bat. I can promise you that. Whatever happens from there, I can't make any promises, but you're going to be in the lineup." And so Cade comes back, and you see that kind of those spot starts, like the pinch hits, and then he gets hot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, Cade hit his way into the lineup, and now you can't take him out. And then for him to have the College World Series he had in Omaha, and to be able to hit one of two, LSU hit 2 walk-off home runs, and that's the
Right.
2 that have ever happened in Omaha in extra innings, are both by LSU, both this year.
Yep.
And for Cade to do it in game 1 of a finals in Omaha that's probably a dream come true for him. Not only the home run, but then to win it all, I would imagine
Yeah.
is that's probably the peak of whatever he had on his bucket list.
Yes. Wow, I didn't know any of that. That's
Yeah.
kind of emotional. I mean, it's
No-
very emotional.
Right. And they showed that there was a clip.
I was wondering why your face was like that. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
There was a clip like when they were watching like the recap of like the College World Series. They were showing it like on the screen in Omaha, and somebody put their camera on Cade Beloso, and he's just got tears welling up in his eyes.
The No Sean Marino?
It was
I
such
noticed a
moment.
lot of emotion out there if you really watch, like when
Right.
someone would finish pitching and strike everybody out and it'd be, they were really pumped.
Right.
Like you could see them trying not to
Yeah.
cry, or you could see the tears coming. Like it was cool to watch that. Like
And,
just
like-
that emotion coming off the field each time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment from the championship game was Gavin Guidry. That last
Yeah.
pitch,
When
you
he's
could just see
smiling in
him
the
like just
stands.
taking it all in. Like he's hearing all the LSU chants, and I'm sure he was 5 years old watching
Right.
LSU win a natty, and he was like, "I want to do that."
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then he looks up and he's doing it, and he's like, he didn't want to smile at first, but he was like, damn, this is cool.
Yeah,
And then he just threw the last pitch and just let it all out.
It throws the banger,
The hammer.
the fucking hammer. But and then I think we have something that documented about that where kind of you get players' reaction to the last out. And JT was saying in the article, like, he gets the first 2 outs. He's like, I thought for sure. If it only seems right, I want the last out. Everybody does. And he said that he looked at Guidry and like they made eye contact, and that's why they were like both like trying not to smile, like trying not to cry.
Right,
and
this is
Guidry just
cool,
lets
bro.
his bid. He's like, of course he fucking smiles. Like freshman, like
He's
from
like,
Barb. It's pretty cool. Hiya!
Then he's like,
Yeah. Come get me.
yeah.
Elite dog pile, by the way.
Elite dog
Everybody
pile.
that is probably going to go to the draft or whatever, except Travinsky doesn't give a shit about himself. Like, doesn't care in this
He
moment.
was on the bottom.
He was taking Guidry down a little light tackle, not a flag in the NFL.
No.
Everything worked out perfect, but you got the full legitimate dog pile as opposed to the,
Did you watch? I mean, I know Skeens had someone on his back, but like he was the last one out there.
Oh,
Like he
little
wasn't
hot.
even taking the chance to be like pushed in there. I mean, that's
Right.
smart, right?
Oh,
Dog
absolutely.
piles scare me to death.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
death.
No, you've never been in one.
No, I've never been in one. I don't ever want to be in
It's
one.
not fun.
I feel like it's terrifying. When I
It's-
look at the first kid go down, I'm just like, oh my
Feel bad
god.
for
Like,
him.
yeah, I just feel anxiety.
It's fun until you get on the
it's
bottom.
fun until it's
Well,
not.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
you can't breathe. I imagine.
Yeah, especially like if you've done a football dog pile, those are the worst.
Ooh.
Baseball dog pile is like you said, it's fun until it's not, because as soon as you get on there, you kind of want to get off.
Yeah.
And then more people come, and you just hear people at the bottom say, "Get the fuck up, get off me!" It's like they're not really celebrating anymore. Now these people are fighting for their lives at the bottom of the
No.
pile.
Why
And
do they keep doing it then?
it's a tradition. It's real fun. It's boy stuff. It's something that we
It is
know is
boy
probably
stuff.
going to bite us in the ass later, but
Right.
it's just guys being dudes.
Yeah.
Right now.
Let's jump into a puddle. Let's dig a hole.
Yeah.
We do stuff like that, and we're like, oh, let's,
Piles and holes.
Yeah, piles and
Y'all love
holes.
Piles and holes.
dig a hole. Let's go to the beach, get in the sand, and just start digging a
Digging a
hole.
hole.
And then, like, all in a day's work.
That's so true.
What are y'all doing? Just digging.
That's so true.
But yeah, I mean, it was a fun, like, it was almost weird last night being at home,
Oh,
and like 6 o'clock comes around and it's just like,
That's exactly what I said.
yeah, there's just nothing. It was such a weird feeling.
Yeah, I'm like the
Because for
freedom.
a week and a half, a week and a half, you had something you had to get to every day.
Yes.
6 p.m. LSU's gonna play baseball.
Yep.
And then
it's so true. I was just kind of like, and that's how the show is going to be, too, as of right, probably now. We'll probably get our last couple licks in on LSU baseball, then we'll turn the page to something else. Something will happen.
Yeah,
Right.
something will
It's
happen.
sports. I don't think we want to cover Major League Baseball, but if a story comes up, we'll do it. We'll probably get into some college football at some point. But you're exactly right. What did David do yesterday?
We
Because I
went
know you've had a
to-
tenuous
We slid
relationship.
up to the bar at Eliza and had dinner,
I was
right around
back.
game time.
Mm-hmm.
Just something different.
were you like, isn't this nice? Us
Yeah, I mean,
together?
I was just like, this is weird. Like, we're free. Like, let's
Right.
go out and eat or something. Like,
We're
we don't have to
free.
be, like, planted here at 6 p.m., like, ready to go. Like, the food, the thing, like, nobody's talking. Like, it felt so light.
What if you just did it anyway? You just sat down on the couch and turned the
Rewatched
national
it.
championship back on, and like, oh no, this is my nightmare.
I wouldn't be that surprised, I guess. Let's rewatch it.
Was is you're just stuck in the? It's like Groundhog's Day for you. It's
It
like every
is.
day, just the game comes on, you're just like, not again.
It is. It
Not
was
again.
a lot of baseball.
It was.
It was a lot of
Right.
baseball.
Was.
It was a lot
Person
of
who
baseball
doesn't
for
love
me.
I didn't watch
Yeah.
any
There
game
you
but
go.
LSU
Thank
either.
you.
I
Yeah.
watched all the games, and I'm not a big baseball.
Me
Fan.
either.
I would
That's
just
why
go
it's
back.
just difficult.
I
Watch
was
the highlights.
watching every game.
I
Yeah.
watched TCU Florida.
Yeah,
that last
TCU
day.
Florida. I was watching Oral Roberts Florida. I was watching
Yeah.
every game that was coming on. I was turning it on and watching it.
Well, postseason is really the only
Right.
time I watch it. I mean, I'll watch some in the regular season, but like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like prepare for a
Yeah,
game
no.
like a random Wednesday, Tuesday night, whatever.
Right.
Well,
Before it really counts.
and to y'all's point, it was the most watched College World Series on ESPN platforms to date. Like,
I'm sure it was.
I don't know if that's the LSU effect. You saw Cody Worsham put out some stats on
Right.
social of LSU had like 2x the engagement of some like Power 5 football teams in their Twitter accounts. It was
Yeah.
what Cody does and what the social team has done for LSU baseball. And it's not just baseball, but it speaks to how like they're like all of that whole department kind of works in flux, because the same thing happened with LSU women's basketball.
Right.
And LSU football always has that. So for them to be able to not only, I guess, promote it the way that they do, but for LSU to be in contention all of the time,
Right.
like that not hard to promote a winner, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's the brand has grown significantly in like the digital age, like just seeing, and obviously it's going to grow when you win championships, like you said, but it's not easy to get stuff out the way and the amount that LSU does. It really is impressive.
And for them to be not only get things out, but for them to be at the forefront, and it's not like they rush out graphics or anything like that. Like, they all look good. Like, they're on the forefront of what social media is supposed to be, how it's supposed to look. And when you have players like a Dylan Cruz or a Harold Perkins, Angel Reese, the ability for them to be able to kind of promote you and make you more than not just a good player, but now you're a superstar.
Yeah.
Like, Paul Skeens is now a superstar because of social. And baseball players are probably the hardest to do because you don't get that. Like, there's only so many highlights you can show. It's a lot more of personality stuff, and it's hard to kind of capture that in a social scene. But for them to put up the numbers they did, that's where you get into, like, okay, you don't really get the personality so much, but you get the achievement side of it.
Right.
And don't think that even if that could be as easy as a scout on Twitter sees it, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, the numbers are this. Like, you keep seeing it. It's all just part of the machine. So for social media to get where it is, and I think that's a big credit to Cody Worsham and all the guys on the athletic staff that, I mean, if you think we were tired of watching baseball, imagine. I mean, they went to every game. They were in Omaha for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And because it's when you go through the losers bracket, you have to play a ton more baseball.
8 games in 10 days, Coach.
8 games in 10 days. So LSU did it the long way.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to do it the long way.
I was talking with
a lot of ways to skin a cat.
That's right. I was talking with Dryden yesterday, and we were saying, going back to that second, like the Wake Forest game that they lost to put them in the losers bracket. And after I was there, and after they lost, obviously Wake Forest was ecstatic. They had acted like they had won the national championship.
Well, they were ecstatic.
And I was, they get
real excited in that locker room.
Post-coital. But the way that they were celebrating, I was like, yeah, they're acting like they won the whole thing. And then you go and look at the bracket, you're like, oh, that's why they were so excited to get that second win. It puts you on easy street. Yeah. And LSU, you look through, and everybody that was an LSU fan, I'm not going to say, like, I didn't panic. I didn't hit the panic button because I knew what LSU had. I'd been watching them all year. I knew that they had at least a chance with their rotation to where it wouldn't be, you wouldn't get the matchup that you wanted with Skeens in a championship game maybe in terms of, like, if they made it to the final. But you knew that you had enough arms to just keep playing. And you could see it on, like, whether it be my friends or some, like, other LSU fans where they were dejected. Yeah. They acted like LSU was out of the tournament. I was like, they get to play another game.
They get to play tomorrow.
They get to play more baseball. But to see, like, how hard it is to go through the losers bracket, it only makes sense that it was this team because it seemed like it was almost better for them just to keep playing. Yeah. Like, they got they just got hotter. Like, and for them. And you see all the comments coming out now where they're like, almost sad the season is over. Right. They're like, I hate this because now I don't get to go play baseball with my friends. Yeah. And it's like, damn.
Well, you kind of heard Jay at the end of the first Wake Forest game that they won, where they had to beat them again. Mm-hmm. He's like, let's just keep doing our deal. Like, I don't want to do anything else but just do our deal with y'all. Like, that's it. And they did. They just kept doing their deal. Yeah, that's what he was, like, obviously, like, the post-game huddle or whatever. He's like, I don't want to win a national championship to win a national championship. Like, I want to win it with this group. Right. And for it to be Dylan Cruz's last year, for it to be Paul Skeens comes here for this reason, Tommy White came here for this reason, but most notably the seniors on the team, when you talk about a Beloso, you talk about, I don't know if Jordan Thompson's going to stay or go. He's obviously draft eligible. You see, obviously, Dylan Cruz. Like, those type of guys, it would have been criminal for Skeens not to be able to go to Omaha, at least. 3 years, probably the number one pick, the best player, as he was crowned, like, the Golden Spikes winner, but probably the best player in the sport the last 2 years for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could throw his freshman year in there. You could. Last 3 or 4.
Yeah, like, last 3 years could. I mean, I would hear that argument. Like, but if he had never gotten to Omaha, it would have been it would have been a criminal. So for them to even get in that opportunity just to play there, and you could see it on social whenever it's obviously a huge deal, and it's hard to even get to Omaha, but their reaction when they got there, it's such a, like, eye-opening moment for, it doesn't matter how old you are.
I know.
And it's like you go back to being a little kid again. We're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like,
We're in the World Series.
Yeah, it's like walking into Disneyland, I would imagine. I'm not a Disneyland kid, but for some people, it's probably like seeing Minnie or Mickey.
Yeah.
And for like walking, you're like, oh my God, this is as good as
real.
it gets. We get to play out here.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad they all got that experience. It all culminates tonight with a parade in Alex Box, whatever you want to call it. So we'll unveil the Intimidator, probably get some speeches from the fellas. If you're a 45-year-old man that wants to get his, a ball signed, maybe you'll get lucky. You can sell that thing on eBay. They love that. So go out, support LSU. It's your last time you will see LSU, this version of LSU, all together in 2023. So, with that said.
Right. It's 7:30, so let's take a little break and give y'all a chance to get your questions ready. You can text us.
We have some text messages.
225-229-7741. Send us a text or get ready to call us, and we will take your mailbag questions when we come back from the break until Jacques arrives at 8 a.m.
The Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by R&B Builders. Every single day.
Every single
day.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyra Lacey,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here we go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go-Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Welcome back, Jordy Culotta Show. Katie, Stewie, your host Noah, Lloyd.
Why are you talking like that?
Oh, I just
We're getting a call already.
All right.
Yay,
We're getting a phone call already?
Oh, shoot.
Hold tight.
Metropolitan Health Group sponsors the phone lines. What's their new name? Premier Dow? You know.
You don't know.
Where's the paper at?
Charlie Harvey and the gang.
Yep. Paper's going. Bye, Katie.
They're right here, dude. What are you talking about? Yes.
Nah, you don't have headphones.
If it was a snake,
it would have bit you.
It would have bit you. There's a snake in my boot.
This is Jeff. Hello,
Jeff and Kinner.
What is going on,
Jeff?
boys and girls?
Oh, not a whole lot, sir. Just trying to hold down the old Culotta Show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. You guys are doing a wonderful job. The second team, but I really would call y'all the first team. Y'all are doing a wonderful job.
Thanks, Jeff.
Number 2 in your
Sweet
program,
Jeff.
but number 1 in your heart.
Number 2 on the depth chart.
Hey, guys, I wanted to revel with y'all in this national championship glory, and it's amazing just seeing the reactions of the players. But guys, if you have not seen the post-game presser, it's about a 35-minute video on YouTube of Jay Johnson with his players. It literally brought tears to my eyes listening to some of the stuff, the stories he told, and the pain that he felt when he didn't win when he was at Arizona. I'm just telling y'all, you've got to go listen to that video, and it is so chock full of gems and life lessons and the mindset, the focus that Jay Johnson has. And if you didn't think this dude was it, go watch this video. You'll see he is it. I mean, it is incredibly impressive to listen to how he thinks and the way he approaches life and his players. And it's no wonder why players want to play for him. Again, you just have to go watch it. It's on YouTube. It was the post-game presser with, I think, Beloso, Morgan, Cruz, and Thatcher Hurd. So I just wanted to throw that out there for that. But I did want to read y'all something. That I saw
New segment.
on Facebook. I want to read y'all something that I saw on Facebook that I think encapsulates a lot of thoughts that we had about this season. So it's not too long, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. It said, remember what we've seen in the last 10 days. The most dominant pitcher in the country, the greatest all-around player in the country on the same team, the most athletic first baseman ever to play the position on the same team, the bombs from White and Beloso, the Skeens versus Louder masterpiece, the Morgan to Milazzo play at the plate, the Ackenhausen start, Dugas playing through pain and coming through in the clutch, Cooper, Herring, and the entire bullpen, Ty Floyd's 17 Ks, Pearson's catch in left field, 24-4, 68,000 Jello shots. Hurd pitching a gem in that title game. Cruz slamming into the wall to make the catch. Joe Bear's bat blowing up. Milazzo giving it all to score. And this is the one that got me. I'm gonna add the guts of Jordan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I get teary just about to read this is the one thing I added to this post. The LSU fans chanting Thompson's name Monday night. Chills.
Yeah.
Guidry, a freshman, slamming the door. Skeens carrying his injured catcher to the dog pile. 24 hits, a single game College World Series record, and a College World Series 2023 attendance record shattered thanks to the LSU faithfuls. Guys, what a run. What a week. What a time to be an LSU Tiger fan. Jeff Marcon out.
What a call by old Jeff. Way to lead us off.
That was beautiful. Beautiful, Jeff.
My name Jeff.
What?
What's that from?
Nobody's 21 Jump Street?
Yeah, but I don't remember that.
Now I do. Yes.
Wait, who says that?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, because he's like faking. He's like
That's right.
undercover.
I've seen that movie so many times,
He's like,
too.
my name Jeff.
But what Jeff just listed off, all of those things, obviously all great LSU moments, but that's what it takes to win a national championship, especially like I was saying, going through the losers bracket. And for them you need almost every single one of those moments to be able to be the last one standing in the end, which is wild because those are all, he listed off probably 10 things that were all on the field and that you can like viscerally remember. If Pearson doesn't make the catch and left, you're out the tournament. If Milazzo and Trey Morgan don't make the play at the plate, you're out the tournament.
Yeah.
Like things like that you notice in the game, like, oh, that was a big play. Like even like we talked about yesterday with the runner's interference.
Yeah.
It was big. It was small, but it was big.
Right.
Second inning, everybody forgot about it.
You have second inning, it's 2-0, and you have nobody out.
Yeah.
And you have Thatcher Hurd getting up there in pitch count, and you kind of look around and you go, that should have been an easy out. And now you got another man on first, still have no outs.
Herring's warming up in the bullpen. It's just...
It's about to go bad.
Yeah.
And then you see the old meeting of the minds get together. You're like, please, Joe, call him out. And you're like, yeah. And then you see, once you saw that the call on the field was an out, I don't think they've reversed one yet that they really looked at. I mean, I saw a couple for the, there was a extra inning game where there was a play. Oh, that was the Clemson-Tennessee game. That was a long time ago. Wherever that, like the play at first.
Yeah,
that feels like forever ago.
Right. That wasn't in the Supers?
Yeah, that was in the Supers. That's what I'm saying. But that was a play that I just saw that got reversed. But because that would have ended the game, and LSU would have been playing Clemson instead of Tennessee. But that feels like a lifetime ago when we were all at Alex Box waiting in the rain, and LSU just didn't play.
Game,
yeah.
But
so,
kind of what Jeff said, like before he read the whole thing, talking about Jay and that press conference, like he goes in depth talking about like each of the guys and what he said to them before the season started, how he's seen them grow. Like you can really see his love and his passion for not just baseball but for the guys, like for the players. He brings everyone in intentionally.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to kind of see that all
Yeah.
come to a fruition.
We got a call, Steve.
Yeah, we do.
Let's do it.
What's your name? Where you calling from? Have a take, don't suck.
This is the key. This is Clint from the
parish.
From the parish.
What's happening, my
Driving
brother?
fence post this morning in this
What's
heat.
up? What's happening, Noah? How you feeling, man?
Feeling great. How are you?
I'm great, man. Just got through running the crab traps. I'm going to be boiling some blue crabs in a little while. Drinking some fence post.
There we go. This man ain't worried about the heat. He stays hydrated.
Hey, I just got a couple questions for y'all, man. It was a great World Series, and I'm pumped up about LSU winning. Do you think I'm actually, I guess how y'all can input it on maybe even Katie a little bit. Do you think that getting to that bullpen, I felt the third game after we got that starting pitch out, it's like every person at the bat was hitting the ball, and they were seeing it clearly. So I think once we got through that pitcher, I felt it was a wrap. I mean, I don't know about how y'all feeling. And the second question I got, and I'll hang up and listen. Well, what do you think this team is going to go down as far as history, ranked as far as baseball teams, as far as championships, including Skip's teams? And I'll hang up. Listen, y'all have a great day, fellas, and Katie. Thank y'all. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, Clint.
All right, thank you, Clint. Throw a couple back for me. First question was getting Caglione out the game. I thought that was massive. Obviously, you saw LSU in their first inning approach where you get Beloso gets hit by a pitch, and then you see them kind of get aggressive early. You saw the Trey Morgan swing wherever they were looking to hunt the fastball attack early, and then I don't think that was really supposed to be the plan going in. Probably a little bit nervous, especially after the top of that first inning where it felt like it kind of got out of hand for a second. They're like, all right, hold on, let's settle back in. But for them to go in and be disciplined with their approach at the plate, which the book was out on Caglione, like he throws, I mean, it's explosive out of his hand. He's 99. Like,
he has no clue where it's
but
going.
yeah, it seems like it's as soon as it leaves his hand, it's dealer's choice.
Right.
Like Trey Morgan could have caught that in the chest. He hits Beloso in the back, but once they were able to, which was like it's almost like erratically efficient. Whenever somebody can throw that hard and doesn't know where it's going, but then he can dot it on on the black on the outside corner, and it's almost hard to have an approach where you just, I mean, if he's throwing a perfect pitch, but then he might hit me in the face. So LSU stayed disciplined in their approach, and once you started to stack up base runners, that's when Florida had to be terrified because they didn't have any pitching left. Even though they were the team that was able to get rested, come through the winners bracket, but it shows that LSU, the one thing that people were concerned about going into the year and throughout the year was the bullpen, and that turned out to be your strength up until even in the last game.
Right.
But
especially, I mean, and I think in game one, even though LSU left a lot of base runners, on base, they got the starter in game one's pitch count up, and they kept getting the bases loaded. They got that number up. So then they went through, some of those arms in the first game.
Right.
And so they burned their closer in the first game because we went to extras and he pitched. He had an extended outing. So, it was just like you said, it's little things like that you don't really realize how big of a deal they are in the moment. That in game three, when you get rid of Caglione and in 1 1/3, and they go to their freshman, and he can only go 1 1/3, then it was just kind of.
That's when, and that goes to show how massive that game. Like, obviously, you always want to take game one in a 3-game set. Like that's obvious, but it was anybody's ball game, and it felt like if you were there or there was no momentum on LSU side. Like the stadium was as quiet as I'd heard it for LSU. There was a couple of rally cries to get LSU going, but LSU fans were tense. Like not everybody. There wasn't a lot of I feel something coming on. And then you get the Tommy White solo home run, and it was like just a line of cocaine for that entire stadium because everybody was like, okay, we're alive again. Like, we're back in this. Right. It was as tense as you can be in, I guess, like an impartial arena. Right. Like where but it felt like it was an LSU home game. And you could see that LSU was like, the stadium was almost like egging him on, like, please, somebody do something because you could feel it slipping away. Right. And for LSU, Tommy White to come up huge again, and then you obviously get the belly bomb, which is the perfect cap, and Cooper comes in, slams the door. Right. You win by 1, and then, like you said, you got to go through all their pitching. LSU saves theirs because Ty Floyd threw a masterclass game. And if you would have wasted, quote unquote, like a 17 strikeout performance, it's hard to go back in that dugout and look him in the eye and be like, great game. Yeah. It's like, well, thanks, y'all.
And I mean, and Jay talked about it in that same press conference. He was like, we looked at game 1 and we were like, we have to win game 1. Mm-hmm. Like game 1 is a must win. And, even the fans could feel it because the way that the pitching stacked up, you knew how big a deal it was to win with Ty Floyd. So you don't have to burn Hurd in game 2 or, have to try to win with Ackenhouse on the mound. Like, get that first win. And so it was really cool to see.
So talk about the right plays at the right time. Like Ty Floyd has been kind of scratching, like just kind of running his head against the wall every time you get to the 5th. Like you could see the potential, but his pitch count would always be up. it didn't seem like they'd ever really wanted to extend him,
Right.
but it seemed like he'd hit that wall around the 5 1/3, and that's when he'd have to go get him. Which quality start, you'll take it every time. But for him to go 9, okay, now LSU was really set the table for where they could do it game 2 and 3, and obviously game 2, another classic example of Jay pushing all the right buttons.
Right.
Whenever I know the game was lost, but you don't burn any arms.
Yeah.
Like Ackenhausen started off, had a great start. You get the boot, and then everything went downhill from there.
Right,
So
like
then you
injury, and that's when the grand slam happened. And so when I saw, he inserted Bryce Collins, and not anything against Bryce Collins, but you could tell he wasn't really trying to
win at that point.
Right.
And I think Bryce Collins knew that when you're down. I haven't pitched all year I haven't pitched in the College World Series. You had him, Blake Money, Christian Little. Like that's why you're there.
Yeah.
Like sure you'd want to come up in a tight spot, but we still need you to get through.
Eat up some innings.
Yeah, you got to finish the game.
Like
eat some innings, and you get to pitch in the College World Series. That's great, but it may not be the role you want, but it's the role you got right now. So it kind of it also was a move that helped save LSU for the third game, and they needed all of it.
It seemed all very calculated.
Oh no, Jay was very
very
calculated
Right?
with the way he went about the whole thing.
I mean, how do you do that? And
He's a genius.
Yeah, like how do you? Because things change so much.
He
So
doesn't
how do
sleep.
you? Yeah, I guess not. I guess if that's all that you have to do or all you want to do, I mean, you plan for every possible scenario, right? Because it just worked out perfectly. And I kept thinking like that. Like, how did he know? Like, how many scenarios do you have to lay out, to have the right one to win it all?
Right. It really was.
That's what is my guy?
Dr.
Dr. Strange. Yeah, I've read through all the scenarios.
Trying to run the spill.
That's Jay. But yeah, he does it. I don't think he sleeps a whole lot.
Right.
And if you aren't impressed by his recall from moments that have happened at the beginning of the year, that he's not lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
He can recall like moments in the 3rd inning, 5th inning from games that essentially don't really matter. At this point in the year, but he is watching everything.
I mean, that man remembered losing by a run at Arizona in the World Series. Like
He said he thinks about it every day. He's like, it doesn't, I'm over it, but it's something that I still think about every day.
He's obviously not over it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something you say.
Yeah.
I'm fine, I'm good.
I'm not thinking about
Hey,
it.
you don't get to talk about that. I can talk about
You
that.
don't say that.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah,
Any
we
more
have
questions?
a lot
in
of
here?
questions.
All
We have a
right.
lot of questions.
Let's get to a few of
You want to do a little bump music under there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all see the pic Nuss shared of him and John Emery on the gram? Old pic or Emery back? This was this past weekend. I think the football team was doing like photo shoots.
Who sent us this question? Does it say?
Doesn't have a name.
Ah.
Doesn't
Stewie,
have
I
a
think
name.
you should take this one. You're more on the football beat than I am as of the moment.
Who was it? John Emery and who?
John Emery and Garrett Nussmeier.
Nussmeier.
Okay, so
But
they're
they
asking if that was an old
He
pic
posted
or-
it on like Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, I just had it.
I don't know if Emery's back. I wouldn't specifically say he's back, but him being in the picture or him taking team photos or doing the photo shoot with the photo crew is a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Brian Kelly has not come out and said like John Emery is on the football team.
Yeah.
Everything we have, the last we've heard of John Emery, he was on the fence
Mm-hmm.
of being on the football team.
Yeah.
So him taking pictures might be a good thing.
Yeah.
You never know.
At least
No,
he's-
it's definitely good.
At
to
least
see
he's
him
around.
I know.
Yeah, he's just around the program.
But I would hold off until you hear from Brian Kelly. Hey,
Yeah.
John Emery's going to play football.
Probably hear that at the first day of
Right.
fall camp.
Yeah, at some point he's going to have to answer the question,
Right.
Or like SEC media days,
Yeah.
maybe somebody might slip
Or
one
right
in
before,
there.
yeah. I mean, look what happened last year. It didn't get announced until 2 years ago. Excuse me, like right before the UCLA game.
UCLA. We were sitting.
The night before, I was
sitting in a
room.
room. We were scrolling through Twitter. I was like, John Emery's not playing tonight.
Whole lot of F-bombs.
I'm almost positive I was like getting on the plane to go to LA, and I
Yeah.
found that out. I was like, well, it's fucked.
Yeah, between John Emery and the Sissy Blue shirts, we're like, LSU's having a time right now. What is going
Oh,
on?
it's on 12.
Oh my goodness.
This is okay. I don't
But
know.
yeah, him being with the team is a good thing.
Oh, hold up. This might not be a mailbag question. It says, "Hi, Nicholas. This is Jay. Would you consider a cash offer on your property?"
Yes.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Depends how much cash.
Jay, give us a call.
225-229-7741.
Oh, somebody's trying to give us a new website too.
All right.
Just got a bunch of spam
He
on
said,
there.
so I decided to make you one for free. Reply yes if you want to see it.
No.
That's not.
That never works.
Anything relevant on there?
Are there any
hold up.
horny locals in your area? Reply yes if you want to see.
Find horny singles in your
Yeah.
area. Why is LSU football recruiting dropping?
I don't think it is.
Is it dropping? Who said
There's
that?
been a couple decommitments.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
from what I could see, they decommitted and went to
Other
smaller
schools.
programs. So I'm not gonna say LSU's pulling offers or anything because I don't know anything. But it looks when you see something like that, genuinely, usually you would think maybe LSU's bringing somebody better in.
Yeah. It's usually to make room.
Right.
Yeah.
See a decommitment.
Right. Especially if they're going, like if he was decommitting to go to Alabama or to go to Georgia or somewhere that's on LSU's
That's
level,
also trying to pull them, yeah.
right, it would be different than if they're going to North Carolina or Houston.
Yeah,
or,
I think people are freaking out because like Florida pulled in like 5 commitments last week, and they moved up to like the number 5 class in the country. LSU's probably at 11 right now, but I mean,
LSU
it's the middle of June. Like
Yeah,
it's the end of June.
You
like,
remember what happened last year?
Oh, yeah, that's my fault.
Jordy and Lloyd were both freaking out.
I was too.
It was after the Jordan Matthews. And different. And
that one hurt.
It was.
I'm still hurting about it, dog.
But then you saw in July, once July got open, they started ripping off commitment.
Frank just had to get his feet wet.
Right. And
I mean, if y'all want to talk about recruiting, Keelan Moses might commit soon.
I saw the pictures. It
looks like he loves LSU.
Mm-hmm. That would be great. I feel better about that that Moses recruitment than the other one. The other one was so.
No, he was never coming out.
It was so up in the air, and it's just like this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And he was just around the program a whole lot.
And I mean, if we want to continue to talk about LSU's recruiting and in state, LSU has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 10 players in the state of Louisiana committed.
That's how it should be.
And they are crystal balled for the number 1 player in the state, the number 3 player in the state, and the number 4 player in the state.
Yeah.
So
this is all I was asking. Yeah, that's all I was asking for last year. I did freak out a little bit, but I saw a whole lot of Louisiana talent not staying in the state. So it seems like maybe that's a good strategy. Once you saw Louisiana players play, this is what you wanted LSU. So I am much more confident in the recruiting strategy this year than what we did last year.
Nice. All right, Jacques in studio, so let's take a break and then reset, and then we'll hear from him.
JD. All right.
JD.
R&B Builders, building the show.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Branding at Go-Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Welcome back. We are sitting here with JD. We got a fresh back from Omaha.
JD back from Omaha. Job you saying, WAFB. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
The month of June is come and gone. Like covering baseball and best job in the world, but it's like, man, the 4th of July is like a week away or whatever.
Yeah, the body is not ready after Omaha. I think I'll be the kid in the pool with the shirt on.
Right. Exactly. What an experience, man. It was 2 weeks ago yesterday that I flew in there and started the first reports and then came back yesterday. I've had a chance to cover a lot of great stuff at Channel 9, 3 national championships in football, Saints Super Bowl, 2006 Final Four with the LSU men, bunch of Final Fours with the women, and then national championship with Kim Mulkey. But this is the first time I've ever, for different reasons, covered a baseball national championship.
Really?
Start to finish, yeah.
I wouldn't think that.
2009, I think I was just starting Red Rock and Blue, and I was like, we had a concert or something, there's a few things, and I didn't go. And then I'm not as old as some people think.
Right.
Like, every now and then I see somebody, you covered me in 1991 on the, I'm like, I'm not that old. But So, this is the first time I didn't make it up for any of those 90s teams. Or 2000, the last skip team, I started the year after 2001. Okay. So it was an amazing time, man. It was outstanding. So many huge plays that won it for LSU. So many big storylines. Off the top of my head, I guess for discussion, I mean, what plays do you remember the most? I think if there's one play I'd pick, Trey Morgan covering the bunt.
Yep.
And the toss to Milazzo and the swipe to get the guy
tag.
out.
Yes, I feel like that might be the image that you I don't think it'll get lost in anything because of how paramount that was in the series, really.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of those, whenever you put the DVD together, it's going to be featured on there pretty heavily on the old championship DVD.
And the Florida guys, that before the national championship, they had a press conference and we asked them about it, and they were all very complimentary. I think it was BT Rapella. How you say his name? Ripel, excuse me. So
it's been a bit of a week.
Yeah. He said, give credit to the catcher who's staring at first base and can't even see the guy coming down from third, and then has to be sure he doesn't obstruct the line, and then to get the ball and then tag Milazzo. And that was a great ESPN shot where he takes that exhales after that.
Because I think he realized that maybe in the moment how I don't want to call it luck, but how 1 in a million that kind of play. Everything had to go perfectly right. So he's like, oh, God, that was huge. Yeah, get me out of here. Let's get into the dugout, boys.
Lloyd, if the timing is 1/1000th off on that, you don't get the out.
No. Right.
And then after the game, when they're kind of grouped up and they're celebrating about going to the national championship, you heard, I think, Milazzo in the group saying, "We practiced that play."
That was play 5.
Play 5.
But I don't even think you could call that practice because it seems like that was Trey Morgan instinctual. I mean, if the bunt's anywhere else, he could bunt it over his head because he just came crashing in. And that's why I think when you had Trey Morgan in left, you're like, he's great out there. And I'm happy that he's able to contribute in the outfield, but he is a first baseman at heart, and probably the best or most athletic first baseman in the sport.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody who brought that kind of electricity and playmaking to the position. Perhaps my favorite soundbite in Omaha that I got was we interviewed Trey Morgan's dad on Father's Day, and the hair came up, the blonde hair, and he said, "Yeah, it was a sophomore year. He was fooling around with a little red, this and that." Sisters in what's the word? I'm so brain dead. Cosmetology. Cosmetology. So he comes out and I'll just look at this kid, man. And I'm just like, wow, look at that. He said, "Pops, what you think?" I said, "Son, you're in college, you're of age, you can do what you want. But when you look like that, you better know how to play, man. You better be a good player."
And hey, that's straight to a T.
And he said, "Don't worry, Dad, I got this." And so, I mean, there's so many superstars on this team and popular players, but everywhere he walked in Omaha, the kids are shouting, "Trey, Trey," autographs and whatnot. And then the first game of the championship series for Josh Pearson to make that catch.
Oh, unbelievable.
And so after the game, he's like so nonchalant. His parents are like, he's got no pulse, and it almost is, literal. I'm like, you realize you saved the game, right? And he's like, "Oh, well, there are a lot of plays in the game that saved the game." It's like, no, man, literally, the ball goes over your head, you lose.
It's over.
That's it. And Jay Johnson, you heard him. He said, politicians talk about, like, if they're running for president, their pathway to victory. We got to win this state. He's like, there's no pathway to victory if we don't win game one. Had to win game one. And so that was so important for them to do that. And then, Sunday you had to eat a big you-know-what sandwich.
Yep.
4 patties.
Extra. No paper.
But even the guys that went in the game, look, I know they gave up a lot of runs and stuff, but somebody had to go out and get 27 outs to get to Monday to protect the staff. And it's like Skip says, you can't run the fullback up the middle and drain the clock. See, you can't take a knee. You got to get 27 outs. And so they had to do that to get to Monday. And then, wow, Monday starts and Thatcher gives up the home run, and it's like a continuation of Sunday. And it's like, oh, man. But then the whole thing flipped top of the second when they scored 6 runs. And really, for the first time in the whole World Series, their offense truly got rolling. Because they would hit home runs, but they'd be solo home runs, and they'd be flashy, spotty. But this was a case where, I mean, the parallels to the women's basketball team and the baseball team, there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And starting with the offense in the postseason had been spotty, and then when they needed it the most, the biggest game to win the thing, they just explode. Women scored over 100 points, and the baseball scores 18 runs.
Yeah, that's what you've kind of been waiting for, because like you mentioned, there had been obviously massive moments for LSU and big hits, but it was always a solo home run, or it was never, all right, we're gonna get the circus going. Where are you going station to station? You're singling, you're scoring it. That was the big story going into the game, was LSU with runners in scoring position, they couldn't get anybody home, and so all of those home runs that you were waiting for, they never happened with anybody on base. So you knew that you had potential there, but it was always, all right, bases loaded, 1 out, double play. Bases loaded, 2 out, strikeout. They never could get to that. All right, now this is how a rally gets going, where you have a single, then a double, then a single, and you manufacture runs that way. And like you said, for it to come up in that moment, you'd been waiting for the LSU offense to show up.
Well, you're almost rooting for them not to load the bases.
Right.
Because nothing good ever happened when they did. My dad texted me, he's like, loading the bases is bad luck, because that is where they stay, the way he put it. And so, yeah, 30 left on base in the 2 games previous. They left 18 Monday.
Yeah.
Nobody, who cares? Scored 18 runs, but it could have been much, much worse.
36.
We beat them, and it should have been worse.
Yeah.
It'd been hilarious if they would have flipped the score 24-4 the next day.
I think that's what a lot of people are rooting for. LSU lost on aggregate.
But Jordan Thompson, lives a nightmare up there for a while. 1 for 30 from the plate, the 2 errors on Sunday. The second of which, Jay Johnson says, I don't know where he was throwing, to be honest with you. And then for him to step to the plate, the crowd comes to its feet, and then he rips it in the left and puts LSU on the board for the first time. Amazing. And then the post-game interaction with him and Jay Johnson hugging, and you hear Jay Johnson say, I love you, Jordan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I love you too, Coach. I mean, it was, Disney movie stuff, right?
A Hallmark movie.
Right there in the heart.
Yeah. The Cinderella story, the perfect ending. The one that you would, obviously baseball is a cruel sport, but it also has a way of finding its way full circle almost. If you were Jordan Thompson, you had to know. Obviously, you get the call from Jay, and it was never a doubt that he was going to start, but you just had to know going into that Game 3 that he was going to come up with almost every time there was a paramount at bat, you'd look on, and it's been like that all year for him, where every time LSU was in a situation with 2 outs, runners in scoring position in a close game, you always look down, there's 4. You're like, he puts himself in this position. It always seems to find him there. And so for that to happen in Game 3 was not a surprise. And then what was a surprise was, I think, the reaction on social media the night before, and how everybody kind of piled on. And it felt like a lot of LSU fans kind of drunk that day, and then wakes up and kind of regrets, like, oh man, I should have said what I said, a lot of go through the phone and check my text. What did I say? And then they're like, oh, so it's the big apology on Sunday to kind of get back right with the Lord and right with JT.
No different than just getting loaded normally
Right.
and getting home and say, oh, the stupid stuff I said last night, or I shouldn't have karaoke'd last night, or whatever you did, the night before. But kind of the same thing, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, they are still amateur athletes, although the NIL has maybe changed that. But they are young people doing the best job they can, and no one wants to do more. No one's worked harder, invested their entire year, basically. 365 days in a year. How many days are those guys not working on baseball? 10?
Right. Maybe.
15? So,
but a lot of those guys, they even left like the Alabama game early for LSU Alabama football. Like they went for half. Like, we have an 18-inning scrimmage tomorrow. So even days like that, where you would expect, you can be a college, like you could get to be the college part of college athlete. Like, we got a job to do. Like, it's a year-round job for them.
And that comes from their head coach, obviously. And Jordan Thompson, it's a little bit like being a kicker for him. I mean, he gets so many opportunities that the second he, misses one, then it's like, do something right, nobody remembers. Do something wrong, nobody forgets. And, certainly one of the more breathtaking pictures from the year is that throw he made. It was against Kentucky, Super Regional, where his feet are like this high off the ground, and it's like Air Jordan.
Right.
So, but that was an amazing story for him to have 3 RBI. Even his outs, he almost poked it out. He flew out to the warning track. Josh Pearson, I think, was 2 for 23 from the plate in Omaha entering that last game. He smashes a 2-run homer out to right center. And just everybody elevating their game at the end. It was truly a Skip Bertman, Paul Maneri, like Ochinko is remembered differently. But I remember Maneri and Ochinko kind of always kind of being at odds and, Sean, when are you gonna, that type of, be consistent type deal. And then he comes through.
5 whole beers, Sean?
5 beers?
At 5 beers.
Yeah, I heard that story a few times. And that was cool. Look, I do impersonations of people, and I need to be punched in the face sometimes. But Paul Maneri truly is one of my favorite coaches that I've ever covered. Favorite people. Would apologize. Hey, I'm sorry I missed your phone call you back or text you. Anytime I ask him to help with a charity thing or something, he would do it. Getting off the bus somewhere. Hey, do you need an interview from me? So, and he really did recruit a lot of these players. I mean, we'll be factual about it. I mean, and Nolan Kane, those two deserve a lot of credit for the guys on the roster. Did they get stale at the end? Was it time for a change? Yes, probably. But, Jay did inherit a lot of players. He did a great job coaching them up, and then he supplemented the Paul Skeens and the Tommy Whites and the Thatcher Hurds and the Riley Coopers of the world. Another guy, Riley Cooper, right?
The big guy.
I mean, look, like somebody told me, he's not going to be on the front cover of Men's Health magazine, okay?
It's fine.
So sometimes he doesn't look like the prototypical athlete. He doesn't look like Paul Skeens.
Yeah, that's what male peak performance looks like.
But as John Kruk once said, I'm a baseball player, I'm not an athlete. And that guy went out there the last month of the year and just dealt. And nobody could really score off him until, I guess, he gave up that 1 home run in the last game that Joe Bear had in his glove, man.
Yes.
It was Ray Wright. It was right there. He closed it. He tried it. It just kind of
trickled out. But yeah, you can't say enough about Cooper. And you talk about, say whatever you say about it, the way he looks, but the man has gamed the system to where it feels like he can do his own thing in regards to what they expect from the baseball program. They asked, how does he keep fresh? How do they keep his arm able to pitch multiple days in a row? He's a lot of water, a lot of sleep. So they don't expect a whole lot of him. He kind of gets to do his own deal. And if you come in and shut the door, nobody's going to complain. So,
well, and I laughed too when Nate Ackenhausen,
of course, they're roommates.
All the heroes that emerge, right? So Nate Ackenhausen has to throw 6 shutout innings. They played 8 games. I can't even, off the top of my head, remember the opponents. Tennessee. The second time around, right? So they asked, when did you know you were starting? He was like, well, Coach sent me a text at 8:56, and I texted him back at 11:10. I'm like, did you really sleep till 11 in the morning? He's like, yeah, man, I went to bed at 1. I needed 10 hours, So,
and they said that I think it was Mikey that was talking to him. He was like, did you double text him? Were you nervous that you hadn't heard back from him in the morning? And he's like, nah, I know Nate's schedule. I know his deal. I just wanted to let him know in case he checked his phone. But for him to have that kind of pulse, he kind of lets everybody do their own deal, So Jay has a good idea of what the personalities on the team were.
Well, it goes to show you. I know a lot of people are like this, biting their fingernails and, the stress killing them if they're going to pull it off or not. And a lot of times these guys are just,
Steady
baseball,
Eddie.
Man. Yeah, we got it. Griffin Herring, what a soundbite from him. The steroid shot thing. Just goes to show you that, they are young, sometimes just goofy kids. And they are, I always think back to Leonard Fournette. Guy stepped on campus. He looked like a 40-year-old man. And then he smiled and he had braces.
Yeah.
It's like he's still a young person. And so they're put under a lot of pressure. This team especially, I can't remember a team that was under more pressure than this one was to win a national championship. I mean, even the 2019 football team, I thought that they were going to be very good, but it didn't really oh my God, once-in-a-lifetime team until later in the year. So, congratulations to Jay Johnson. It was great to see Coach Maneri and Jay sharing that moment and him down on the field and everything. But, he's only 46 years old, and he's in his second year. I mean, he's not going anywhere.
No, he's not going anywhere.
So what's the future? And same thing with Kim Mulkey. I mean, she's older, but she's not going anywhere. And, Brian Kelly, early 60s now. Nick Saban truly hit his prime at Alabama in his 60s in terms of winning national championships. So it's looking good. One thing, the tone of the Brian Kelly's on the clock, like if he doesn't win a national championship,
out the door.
Okay. If he does win a national championship, it will be a 30 for 30, 3 national championships in a calendar year or 12 months or whatever.
The Tiger Slam.
Yeah. Yeah, good call.
There you go. But yeah, I think the optics are probably, and I think that goes the same for both Kim Mulkey and probably Jay Johnson going into next year, where the bar is here, the expectations are high. But if you think that they're going to roll over and win a national championship every year, I would imagine you could get that out of your head. It's not that easy to win the things,
Right.
and you saw. Even with, I think LSU baseball is probably the better example, where you had to fight your way through the losers bracket. It goes to show. I mean, you had to stay a little bit longer because LSU kept winning, and so you just kind of made a second home in Omaha. And so that's it. That just goes. So if you have temper your expectations, every year is a new year, and it's hard to win one of those things. So enjoy them while you got them.
Well, we talked about the plays, right? The plays that you had to make to win it. I mean, even going back, I mean, we forget it now, but I was thinking flying back yesterday, how much time did we spend talking about the fact that they started Paul Skeens against Tulane in game 1, and that's all the way back here. And then the marble game against Oregon State, huge game. They lose against Oregon State in game 2 of that regional. They may not get out, honestly. Right. And then the super regional was kind of a blowout game 1, but then the whole stress of game 2 and the weather delay that wasn't, and we ain't coming out maybe, and Paul Skeens ain't pitching at 2:00 in the afternoon, and then having to stop the game and the stress of that whole day. So there's a lot of things that we're gonna not remember off the top of our head. We're gonna remember the end, or most of Omaha. Ty Floyd, Ty was always a guy around the 5th inning or so, something bad would happen. I felt like in his first start, maybe he got some strikeouts he didn't deserve early, but then in the 6th inning, they really just pinched him. Somebody said, could the umpire just not see? Was he blinded by the sun early or what? But, I thought Ty deserved better in that start. But then 17 strikeouts, a College World Series record. I mean, it takes everybody.
It takes all of Griffin Herring. It takes all of those moments to where you can look back, and if you don't make one of these plays that you talk about, you probably don't win. But that's how hard it is, too, when you have to almost play, I don't want to say perfect baseball, but when the moment calls for it, you have to be able to make the play. Even, I know the game it felt like probably a little bit in hand, but the Dylan Cruz catch against the wall.
Yes.
And then you see and we were talking about it earlier, the Tommy White solo home run, it was 2-1, just to get LSU back into the game, back into the fold. And he does it back-to-back days.
Beloso clutch home runs. And just like the LSU women's basketball, they're playing a Sweet 16 game against Utah, and they're up by 1 point, and they fouled a young lady, and she's got 2 free throws to take the lead and to put the pressure on LSU to make a shot at the end, which the offense was struggling. She airballs the first free throw, and she misses the second one. And then Kim brings it up, Coach Mulkey, that Utah was in position for the rebound and the putback, and I think it was LaDeja that
knocked it
out of her hand. Maybe knocked it off her
foot, and
LSU gets the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you are an eyelash away from it being done then. And so, yes, it takes, Blair Barbier said it before they win, it takes some luck. Mm-hmm. The harder you work, maybe the luckier you get here and there. But, it's hard. It's very hard to win. I mean, Wake Forest was loaded. They had an outstanding team. Where their offensive number is a little inflated because of the park they played in and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes. But their pitching staff was pretty amazing. And the defensive plays they made. LSU smoked some shots, and those guys caught it. And so, yeah, I agree with Coach Johnson. They slayed a giant when they beat Wake Forest. And so, beat Tennessee twice,
That will not be remembered as the way it probably should be because of, like you said, when you played that many games in that few of days, it felt like there's so many moments that happened that you're like, oh, when you go back and look at it in totality, you forget that you had to. Tennessee LSU was the rivalry of the year almost. Right. Like everybody was waiting for that game in the regular season, and then it feels like LSU just kind of kept having their number a little bit. So you weren't even really as concerned in the second game of versus Tennessee, and you're like, okay, let's move on to Wake after what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's 2 years ago, and maybe it's forgotten now, but I mean, I remember some fans, maybe the younger crowd, that were like, come on, Scott Woodward, don't be so conservative and boring. Get Tony Vitello. He's got the swag, and he's, we need some of that in our program. And who cares about the sportsmanship and the blah, blah, blah. Who's this Jay Johnson guy? We don't know much about him. And so, it's going to be a long way to judge the two of them. They're both going to coach for a long time, and Vitello's done an amazing job at Tennessee, and they've been in Omaha 2 of the last 3 years. But, yes, they beat him twice. And that was a real coming of age because Trey Morgan's dad told me, he said, Trey's first year, that super regional, we went up there and we got punched in the mouth in 2 games. And we were young. And now these guys grew of age and then took it to them in 2 games. And then 5 games, they beat them 4 out of 5 in the season. So, and it kind of all ties in together. I think the Tennessee series, the Friday game, it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when the women were beating Virginia Tech in Dallas to go to the championship, and all the fans were cheering and yelling in Alex Box
Stadium. Yes, absolutely. I forgot I was there for that game, and because people were. We had like you could see the dugout. They were wondering what was going on because there was nothing going on in the baseball game.
Right.
It was like in between pitches. There wasn't anything to cheer for on the field. So the whole place is going berserk, and they're all looking up like, what's going on up there? And you see all of the concourse TVs have the women's game on. It was it's great marketing for LSU. You get your ball game and you get your ball game. But what was your set the scene for me for your Omaha experience outside of baseball?
Well, I can tell you what, I went jogging a few times in the morning. It can go a lot further there than here.
Yes.
When I got back this morning, stepped outside, I'm back in Louisiana. Love Louisiana, but the humidity and
you could have blindfolded me and brought me back here, and I would be like, I know exactly where I am.
I mean, you were there, like 60s in the morning, high 60s.
Little breeze.
Cool breeze blowing in off the Missouri River there. I stayed at the Harris Casino in Council Bluffs. Woke up to Guy Fieri's face every day on the elevator because he's got a restaurant, Flavor Town there. And one thing I noticed, I mean, no traffic. Like every day, just go across the bridge into downtown. I mean, for a big event like that, I don't know if they were coming from the other way or people were just.
The only time you saw traffic, not to cut you off, was kind of like it was just a bunch of Uber people. Like they would Uber pick you up, and it was almost like a trolley line to where it was easy to get around the city. Were you, especially with the amount of LSU fans, so that was your first time in Omaha?
Well, no, I've been 4 times.
Okay.
But I've never covered a national champion till now.
What was it like on the other side?
You mean like the fans and stuff?
Yeah, seeing it from that perspective.
It was amazing. I mean, I know a lot of people, just like their heart is invested in the old Alec Box. I know a lot of people are still invested in the old Rosenblatt, and the new one's not the same. The Charles Schwab Field, the artist formerly known as a TD Ameritrade.
Yes.
But there were fans everywhere, and as the days went, they invaded more. I mean, I think, like I said, I got there on a Wednesday. By Friday, I had done the Rocco story. Everybody had to do the Rocco story and the Jello shots and everything. And then, you had your emails and you complained, why are we promoting, binge drinking? That's nothing to be proud of, And so I never took one, but
I took plenty for you, Jock. I got you covered on that front.
Were they?
It depends on at what point in the day you took them or night. But
they got stronger as the day went.
No, they got more palatable. I would say they're a thick Jello shot. It's like a little bit like you need a knife and fork. It's like eating a steak.
How many would take you to get buzzed?
Me? You're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I probably 15.
15 would.
Yeah,
15 just buzzed.
Yeah, I mean 10 is probably what I took, and I didn't.
I'd be dead.
Yeah, you would be.
It's hard liquor in there, right?
Oh yeah.
Rum, vodka, whatever.
They need to put a little Everclear in there.
Okay.
Get that thing going. No.
Well, I was
would
afraid.
Say 5 for a normal man would get you where you wanted to go.
Yeah, well, I'm very boring, and I'd be afraid that at my 5 o'clock live shot, if I took a couple,
tie around the head.
I'm good, and half an hour later, it pops you, and you can't talk. So.
That's how the Jello shot works too. It takes a while to sink in.
If
you've ever been on the St. Patrick's Day parade, that seems to be the flavor of that day. A lot of people go down early because you pop 4 or 5, you're like, oh, I feel fine. An hour later, they're a different human being.
It's Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah, the Quaaludes.
The Caprio thinks he's driving home fine or whatever, and
foot up the door.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. But
get off the phone.
But the stadium just. Omaha, Nebraska, obviously is not around the corner from Baton Rouge or Louisiana, period. The stories I heard about the flights and people trying to find the flights and what they cost and what the hotels cost and everything, and it impacted the game definitely in the championship series when Jack Caglione couldn't find the strike zone early, the crowd got louder and louder, and I think his legs started shaking a little bit. And the other guys who came in who couldn't find the strike zone, I think it impacted the game for sure. And so lots of great stories from lots of great fans, people who, placed bets on LSU back in January with their fingers crossed. You did that?
Yep. Yes, I did. Plus 700 and plus 500.
David bet on them too back in January to win the Natty.
So what'd you collect?
$600.
$600?
Paid for the trip.
There you go.
So
you were your own sponsor.
Exactly. Sponsor of one. I did that in the 2019. Same thing happened. Paid for my ticket there. I had a future on LSU, so I bought the ticket, then just prayed that I didn't want to be 500 in the hole. I could cover it this way. So Joe Burrow took care of that on that end. Took care of it on the other end a little bit with his appearance in Omaha.
There you go.
Everything he touches is gold.
This guy's his own salesman. He's talent, sales,
degenerate,
equipment.
Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none.
He really is.
There was anybody know who Lewis Tomlinson is?
No.
He was in One Direction.
Oh.
So one morning at the Harris Casino, I wake up, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's a long line of people. I'm like, what is going on? And mostly teenage girls. 20-year, and I look it up, and I'm like, Lewis Tomlinson playing 8 o'clock at night. They were in line to see this guy at the Harris Casino in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
So you just found out who this man is, too?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were like a closet One Direction guy. I was like...
The story of my life.
No. Well, you probably know all the songs now. You got a free concert.
Well, I mean, it's one of those deals where you go to stadiums or whatever, those songs are going to play. You're going to know, what's the other one? Beautiful.
You're asking.
You don't know you're beautiful. That was the other one.
Oh yeah, nice.
You know that one.
Yeah, they play that. They play at the Saints games before the Saints games. So he was probably like fourth in line of the Harry Styles, and there's another guy, and then this guy. So he was playing a show in Omaha. That was another thing that these people were in line forever to see this guy. But I'll say this: the Saturday hotel send-off. I'm not sure if I've ever seen anything like that. Like it was insanity at that hotel.
We went to I went to the Saturday one. That's where I saw you kind of get a little B-roll when you walked outside. I had no idea it looked like that inside. I thought this was the send-off, like everybody
the outside was
the door. And when you go inside, I saw pictures that you had covered, and I was like, it's a madhouse in there. I don't know how they even allowed that, honestly. I don't know where you put all those people. They were probably a little, if you're the hotel, you got to kind of get your people in order to be able to handle that much crowd control.
Well, they established, they laid the ropes out, and I think the ropes start just kind of getting crashed in, like more narrow and narrow, and I didn't really notice it, but I think they said both Paul Skeens and Cruz had individual police escorts, like guys in front of them and behind them, and yeah, it was. It felt like Victory Hill outside Tiger Stadium on a game day.
It's unbelievable.
Just the crowd noise and the yelling and the screaming. Now, on Sunday morning, I didn't make it. There was one at 10:20 a.m. or something. I'm like, day 11, 12, whatever we were on. I'm like, I ain't making it today. And then Monday, I went to it Monday, and it was really hopping on Monday. But obviously, I think people had to go home, start the work week and stuff. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, just maybe search Madness and my name on Twitter. That's what I called the video, and you'll see it. So,
excellent. Well, JD, thank you for coming in. I think
we'll be live tonight from 7 to 9.
Plug yourself. Live tonight, 7 to 9, WAFB.
7 to 9 on WAFB, covering the championship celebration, and on WAFB.com. Real quick, you know what I remember about 2009 celebration? More than anything, Michael Jackson died in the middle of it.
Really?
And people started looking at their phone. Michael Jackson died. That's what I remember about that one. Weird. It was a great celebration, but that's the thing I remember most about that.
Wait, so do you know if is this any similarities in terms of what they're going to do with we've been calling it a parade, but they said they're going inside Alex box?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a parade. I think it's a case of you go to the box, you sit in the stands. They'll probably have a podium out there. I would imagine that they've edited some videos and stuff to show. I would think there'll be a few people that will speak. Obviously, the head coach, probably Scott Woodward, President Tate, if he can. We know he was on 11 at the women's basketball in the PMAC. And you catch his quote the other day. LSU is going to have more ships than the U.S. Navy. That's what he said.
President Tate has come in here and kicked some ass. And I think he realized once you kind of embrace the sports side of LSU, that's your ticket. If you want to, it's okay to push that narrative that LSU is kind of a sports school.
I think for the first 2 years, he was kind of in his shell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's be honest, okay? First man of color ever as the president, you know?
Right.
As some people of color have told me, look, he knows there's eyes on him, you know, to do something or whatever so we can, you know.
Right.
And he was kind of, but when he got that women's basketball thing that night, it all came out, man. And I think everyone loved it. And I think he's going to, say some cool stuff tonight, and he's been great. As far as a supporter of athletics and academics, he hasn't, the last guy, what was his name? Alexander. I mean, just think of the upgrades from Joe Oliva to Scott Woodward and F. King to Tate. I mean, no offense to the previous guys that did some good things and they're in positions of leadership, but I think the new ones have obviously been a big upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you going to be there? Or are you going to be at
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there live.
See you there.
I'm sure Skip. You think Skip gets up and talks?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he'll I'd imagine Paul will go too, because it's a lot of his players.
That'd be interesting if Paul speaks or not. Yeah, I would think that. I think that he'd be well received and everything. And once again, Maneri, real quick, in 2007 when he took over, nobody's taken that team to the NCAA tournament. I don't care if it's Skip Bertman, Tommy Lasorda, whoever. 2008 through 2017 for Maneri, he went to 5 World Series. He won 1 national championship. He was a couple of injuries away from winning a second.
Right.
And then the other times he didn't go, they lost in a super regional to Stony Brook, which was rough. And then Coastal Carolina, who won the national championship, and they missed the tournament in 2011. So that run right there is about as good as you can get in modern day baseball. So he deserves his props for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we'll check out your coverage tonight. I will be in the building with you, so maybe we'll run into each other.
Yep.
And thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll be back.
Be right back.
Powered by R&B Builders. Thank you very much. JD.
Oh.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyra Lacey,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
All right, we are back with Brent Patero from the Athletic Collection.
Oh, I appreciate y'all having me.
Y'all should all know who he is. Like, we've been advertising
Right.
him for weeks now with our QR code that was up there a minute ago, but it's just
Still, you'll bring it back up.
Be back
Right.
up,
Come
and
back,
you can also find the store on our Instagram link as well to buy posters, stickers, cups, and now he's here with some new merch.
Yeah, we got some new national championship posters.
These are amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. They
Tell us about them. I feel like we
yeah,
can't see
so
this one as much. I'm gonna hold it up a little.
we've got this one right here. It's a dog pile with the Intimidator in the background with the updated 2023. Then of course you got Dylan Cruz smoking the cigar. Can get this autograph. We got one more autograph session before
what's
they
that
go.
about? Like, where and when?
So typically how it works is during the season, you know, Dylan's super busy, so typically I would just get with his dad, you know, like pregame, bring him a box of posters, and, you know, he'd give it to Dylan on Sunday or whatever after the game, and then Dylan would sign them in his free time, and then I'd swing back around before they went out of town or whatever and pick them up. We got Paul Skeens over here. He's doing autographs too. Same way, we just kind of just meet them whenever they're free.
Yeah. What's the most you've dropped off at a single time?
So I dropped off Cruz probably 100 posters at once, and then by the time I got them back, I already had another order for like 80 more.
Wow.
So you obviously did these for football. Still at theathleticcollection.com. Is it shop.tac.com?
It's shop-tac.com, yeah.
To get any of your posters. You covered 21 schools, I believe, but obviously everybody here is interested in LSU, especially after a national championship run the way they had it.
For sure.
And I don't know if you can get them today from you. I don't know if you're going to, because they have that championship parade. I don't know how that's trying to work
so
out.
Unfortunately, I can't get it today. Takes a lot longer to print a poster than you would think. Takes about 5 minutes for like a poster to physically print. So 100 posters takes about.
And you're doing it the right way also, because you're going to go get them signed for you. Then you're taking the hard work away from them.
Taking the hard work away. Now we have had people who bought posters unsigned and taking it to games and whatever to get signed. saves them a little money doing it that way, and it also gives them the human interaction of getting it signed. But really, and I think most of these players, they'll sign a poster.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're in front of them with a Sharpie, they're probably going to
that's your prerogative if you want to be that guy that goes up and wants to get something signed and you're not, under the age of 12. And so it's probably easier to just, I would much rather just buy it.
Yeah.
And so just buy it, son. You don't have to save the human interaction. But whenever you come up with these designs, how long does that take? And obviously this is done with graphic design.
Yeah.
It's not just a photo.
So I'm not a graphic designer at all. I just kind of come up with the idea. So I told my graphic designer, I was like, look, I really want a dog pile poster when they win. And I told him that on Monday because he's actually out of town this week. I'm like, look, man, we got to get these made. We got to be ready to get them out. But I just told him, look, I want a dog pile poster and I want the Intimidator in the background. The rest just
2023 on there.
Yeah, just do your magic. The Paul Skeens poster, he was kind of. So we've got a few. We got one of Cade Beloso with the 7, also with the flag wrapped around his neck. And we've got one of also Dylan Cruz with the 7 too, doing the ring thing. So
are any of these interactive, like some of the football ones?
So this one is interactive. They're all going to be interactive. We just got to get the videos put together.
And how do you do that again? Where do you scan?
We've got an app on your phone. Pretty simple. You open it up.
What's the name of the app?
The Athletic Collection. Just search the Athletic Collection on your app store. It should come up.
And that's what you have to have to.
Yeah, so if you download that, and then there's a part where you can kind of
scan it like a QR code, essentially. Yeah, it's almost like taking a picture.
You take a picture, you put it kind of in the frame.
Oh wow!
That's so amazing.
That's incredible. Yeah, so you basically have a walking Instagram video.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's a memory. It's a memory.
Yeah.
Is what it all is. So we this one is gonna have the video of the last pitch of the strikeout and then the mall dog piling. Paul Skeens, we're gonna put a little highlight video of him with all the strikeouts. Ty Floyd, we're gonna make a special poster for his record-breaking game.
That's awesome. So it's almost tied to, the photo is almost kind of dictated by a moment essentially.
Yeah.
Is what you're capturing.
Yep.
So you could put this in your house, walk up. And you don't have to pull up a YouTube video or anything like that. It's I just have it right here in my living room.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
It really is. So will they be able to get these on our QR code or on our site? Or
Yeah. So this we'll make sure all the national championship posters are on y'all's site.
Okay.
And they'll be able to get them in the same access to the app with the videos and everything. So it all goes hand in hand.
And how much are they?
They're $25. The autographed ones are $50, and then you have options if you want to get it framed. These are not the frames that you will get. This one's a little more better, but this is the kind of frame that you'd get.
So you can order it with the frame, and it'll come shipped to you framed already.
Yep. It will. It'll come framed. Everything. That's just for the ease of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get a higher quality frame, like a wood frame, just go to Michael's and get a frame.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking a little bit off air about how you got started in this thing, and it seems to be the perfect example of when NIL was actually started. Because I was asking you how you got involved with LSU, because I know previous to NIL, they were very they held their copyright license and all those things. They kind of kept everything in house. So, and I think this is the perfect example of what NIL was intended for.
Yeah, it was super hard when we got started. It was just an idea. I was driving in Baton Rouge working a outside sales job, and I was just kind of always had the entrepreneurial itch to do something on my own. And I was calling my brothers, like, man, what can we do when NIL is such a big thing? And then we originally was like, licensed trading cards would be cool, and then some licensing stuff with the trading card companies. I think they have exclusive license or something. So I was like, well, we could just blow it up and make it a poster.
Make it bigger. The American way.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's a poster. It's basically the same thing in a sense. So then I called LSU and talked to them and kind of pitched them the idea. And he was like, yeah, man, this is great. No one's doing it. Seems perfect. We think the athletes and fans would like it. then go through the whole licensing process. It takes about probably 2-3 months total to do it. And then once we got licensed, and then it's the whole other aspect of now that we're licensed with the school, now we've got to have individual NIL contract with each player. So then it was a lot of reaching out to, messaging players on Instagram, Twitter. Hey man, can we make you a poster?
Yeah, you want to make a little money?
And that's kind of what I tell them. Like, look, you're probably not going to make a ton of money from it. It's just posters, but like, it's fun, it's cool. Get a little spending money.
Well, and it's
a little
great
beer money, whatever it might be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
A little like a little slush fund for you.
Fold money.
A little fold money.
Yeah. And that's what we tell them. Like, look, there's really not much to it. You don't have to do much. You go out and you play your sport, and you do good. Poster sales will come.
Yeah, and you get a highlight with it.
Yeah.
You make a play, you get a poster.
Yep.
And for you, it's a great way to benefit, like to give back to LSU. I'm sure that I don't know how it works regionally or what other team you're connected to, but just from a Baton Rouge and LSU standpoint, it's awesome to have somebody that wants to support the university, and you did it the right way, everything above board. Can you? I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot. Explain how that works, like with the app and
scanning. Yeah. There's no like intellectual property or anything to it, but basically we just the image just acts like a QR code, and the app picks up that image, and then the video just starts to play.
It's almost like your standard QR code, but then it's just embedded over it essentially.
Yeah, just try to take QR code out of but like. Yeah, it just picks up the image.
Stop saying QR code.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So many people think that there's like some like hidden QR code in the app or in the poster, and like there's not. It just picks up distinguishing like images of like sometimes like with this poster, if we had a Ty Floyd poster like this making the same motion, it would have a hard time picking up which poster was
so
what.
It's like pitching up like touch points on
Kinda,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
That's so interesting because I have no idea. Whenever he did it, I had no idea how it worked. He just basically scanned the poster and the highlight comes up on your phone.
Newspaper cover's not going to do that.
No, not at all. That's what I was saying. It's like Hogwarts. Like whenever you have the pictures in the newspaper there, like they're animated and moved. I was like, I don't know how it just blows my mind how it works like that.
It's really cool.
But this is a great thing that y'all are doing, man. Obviously in a bunch of different schools that you're covering. But on the LSU side, you've got LSU baseball, LSU basketball, men's and women's, LSU football. You got the gymnast team, soccer team, softball, tennis. Like you're covering every sport essentially.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we try to do. I graduated from LSU, so like I've got a little bit closer ties. I do a little more for LSU than the other schools, probably.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm also here.
You're so close to it.
Yeah,
like you know what highlights you would want.
Exactly. I know. I basically pick what I would want as a fan and make it
give it
into
to
a
the
poster.
people.
Yeah,
this is big.
Because like one of the reasons why I started the company also is in 2019 when LSU won the national championship, day after went to Academy, dropped $400 on all the national championship stuff. Got home, my wife was like, "What the hell did you just like? How much did you spend on all this?" I'm like, "Oh, they won a national championship."
It only happened.
Like,
it doesn't happen all that often over here.
So I've got a man cave at my house, and I was, putting the stuff up. I mean, I've got some empty walls, so let me try to find some more stuff. Couldn't find them, like $80, $120. I'm like, shit, man, I can't be spending this much. So I needed something cheaper, so then came up with the posters and $25. Like, that's an easy Christmas gift or birthday gift for somebody.
Absolutely.
The part that impresses me is how quickly y'all get it. Get it rolling like a play will happen in a game, and then the next day I'll see y'all post on Twitter.
Yeah, that's credit to Getty Images, and just because we've got a photo license with them, and they get those like pictures up like that.
You have to, yeah.
It's such a hot market type kind of industry. Like if we dropped a poster a week from now, like people are already over it. We got to catch them in the moment, kind of on that high of winning the national championship. It's just such a hot market where if you're delayed in it, you're missing out on the opportunity.
You strike while the iron's hot. Well, you want to capture people while, like you said, while they're in the moment. And you're like, I want this now. You see it on Twitter or Instagram. I can't tell you how many things I've bought off of social media now. When I used to not even be an option. Now you see it, it's like, shop now, and you're like, okay, I'll do $25. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't even think twice about it.
So we dropped a few posters while they were in Omaha, and one of them was Beloso after he hit the home run to to put us in or tie, whatever it was, the game-winning home or the go-ahead home run.
The go-ahead home run, the
And,
Riley Cooper
man,
came in, yeah.
We made the poster, and I've got Cade's number just from doing this, and I'm like, man, should I text him? Like, I kind of need his approval to post it because NIL and all. I'm like, shit, just let me text him. Like, hey, man, congrats on the game. You know,
Right.
like,
Real quick.
I hate to do this to you, but like, we want to drop this poster. You cool with it? And you know, he texts like, yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the perfect guy for you to be able to reach
Yeah,
out to. 'Cause
exactly.
He couldn't be a nicer human
Yeah,
being. He's like, yeah,
exactly.
dude, absolutely. I want one, you know?
Yeah. So it works out, you know, and then, you know, a lot of the agents, they have like their kind of representation that we can talk to. Like, hey, man, you think, you know.
Is it okay to drop this one?
Is it okay to drop this like, games today? I don't want to text them. Like, I want them to focus on the game. As a fan, like, I don't want to bother them. Like, I want them locked in. And like, before the whole postseason run, like, we had supposed to get some more autographs from Paul, and he's like, hey, man, can we wait till after the season? Like, I want to stay locked in. I'm like,
absolutely.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Just make sure you win it all.
Yeah,
But-
that's such a benefit for LSU to have you here and be one that actually understands like the culture
Yeah.
and what they're going through. It's like, dude, yeah, no worries at all.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see you win just as much, like,
Yeah.
more than anybody here. You know, like,
Yep.
obviously they want to win and be a national champion, but from a fan's perspective, like, I'll do anything to not bother
and,
you.
Yeah, and I'll say a lot of people who like would email us like kind of checking in on their order, and I would tell them, like, hey, you know, Paul's focused on the season, like he wants to win. They're like, all right, totally cool, you know. And then like we had some like cruise ones that people would email, and I'm like, you know, Dylan's too busy hitting over 500 at the beginning of the season. Like, we're gonna let him we're not gonna mess up his routine or anything right now. We're just gonna give it a little time, but
That's awesome.
It's fun.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming in. Everybody
Yeah.
can scan that QR code or go to the link in our Instagram bio, or tell
And
us the
we'll
website again.
Shop-tac.com.
Okay, it's up there. on the
Get it from these guys' site. A portion goes back to them for what they do.
We would love that.
They cover your sports for you. You know, they do it's a tough industry. I know how much I work trying to stay on top of everything, so I know how much you guys put into it to stay on top of everything, because y'all are on top of it more than me.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
But
thank you. And
get it from the QR code, get it from their link, and we'll get it fulfilled just as quick as if you got it from our website.
Great.
And don't forget to download the app, the
Yeah.
Athletic Collection, on, I'd imagine, anywhere you get your apps, you know, the Apple Store, whatever.
Yep.
And then that's like the cherry on top of having the poster.
Oh, yeah.
You get that. You got to have that to get
It's
the highlight.
it's basically
worth
like
it. From what I just saw, it's so easy.
It's basically just like a fan social media where you can comment on it, you know, interact, you know, with other fans.
It's like a message board too.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you do log in, make sure you create a username, because if you don't create a username, it's going to put your phone number on there.
Oh.
And I promise you don't want commenting on
Yeah.
stuff in your phone number.
Yeah, somebody managed to do that to me while I was on vacation. So my
Yeah,
phone number
someone
got
did.
out somehow.
Someone did do
So I
that.
woke up to a group text of no numbers that I knew
Yeah.
and 350 text messages. And my buddies were like, "Man, your work must be really busy." And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what happened with this. I mean, then they started trying to roast me in the group chat, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna leave the group chat. I was cool with it. I was ready to hang with. I was ready, you know, go back and forth with some. I guess some of the fellas. And then they were like throwing jabs. I was like, I'm just getting out of here, like get cornered like a rat.
Yeah, that's
Change your
funny.
phone number.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
No, I don't mind at all. I thought it was funny. It's funny that somebody thought I was actually that busy.
I know.
Like, I have 350 texts in my life. But thank you for coming in, man.
Yeah,
This is
thank
awesome.
you.
I'm glad you're
Appreciate
giving
you
back to LSU, supporting the athletes. And it couldn't have, like, especially this particular group, it couldn't have, like, be a better group of people.
Yeah, I'll say every one of the baseball players, like, they're the nicest, most polite. Like, they tell me, yes, sir. Like, thank you, sir. And I'm like, man, you guys,
Yeah,
I
I hate that. Good. Just
like, don't make
dude.
me feel like old or
Yeah.
anything, but they are good kids.
Absolutely. Well, I
That's
appreciate
great.
you coming in. And like you said, hey, scan that QR code, get it from the Culotta Show.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's a great
do.
partnership.
Yep.
Happy us to help you and help the student athletes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's what
go
it's about.
Tigers. All right. Thank you. We'll
we
be
will
back.
see y'all tomorrow. Thursday.
Done? We're at 9?
Yep.
All right.
Done.
Wrap it up.
All right.
Thanks everybody for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Built by R&B Builders every day.
Every single day. Every single day.